tonight we have pretty short daf. Okay, so we left off on Tzadi Vav Amid Beis by Ibailu. Probably about 12 lines up. There's more, 12, 14 lines up.
Right by the Taisvis?
Yeah, Taisvis Baba Nifsa Ishtar. Okay, so boy,
the way whoever handles the recording, which is fine. I have to it hit me now when there could be mamish in between being Balav Imai, Balav not Imai. That 2-second spread, whatever it is. He stops after the Musa, and then before he starts the Gemara, he shuts it, and then he starts. So you have a spread. You have a spread in between.
I guess if you really nail it that way. Yeah, but the truth is we're all by Levima. Oh, truth, I don't know, because those that don't listen to the recording, maybe not. Okay, we'll see in tonight's stuff. It's very good. We'll see in tonight's stuff how that would work.
Especially because we just said there's no difference between Beis Hillel and Beis Shammai.
Correct.
We have all these shilas. We got all these shilas without having answers. We're gonna get with the Bala Ima, Bala. We're gonna have says okay, with or without the wife, it's gonna end in a teku. so to say.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Okay, but tonight we should have some answers. I don't think we have. Do we have any takers tonight? We'll find out. So let's say the basar of the animal became weak because of malacha. So what's the din? Meaning, I guess this is what we call wear and tear. All right. Yeah. So then the shaila is also: is this a temporary weakening, long-term weakening? Whatever it is. So that's a Gemara shaila. If the animal got weak or got shvacha, so Amar Leah, Humer Rabbanan, Rav Chelki, Rav Avi Yishmei, Michlal, Dechim Mesim Machmas Malacha, Mechayev. Are you trying to say that if it dies because of malacha, then you're chayev? Right? Meaning, because that's the one thing that a shoyel, we're talking about a borrower who's chayev for everything except not Mesim Machmas Malacha. Meaning, if it dies while it's doing its thing, then he's not responsible for that. So the Gemara is saying, the Gemara is thinking now that by this asking the Shiloh, what happens if the price of the animal goes down? So that means you must hold that if the animal dies, machmas halacha, then you be chayiv. So then Nemo says to him, he says, why should he be chayiv? Mesa machmas halacha. Nemo lav look me the kilsa shell. I didn't borrow this animal to put it in the tent, right? Meaning, what do you think? I borrowed this animal to work with it, unless he's like yesterday's daf and he only borrowed it so he looks good. Right, but Mastama, that's not the case. But most people borrow animals or to sleep with it, right? And say, but it's not. Yeah.
I'm sorry, but we saw before on Yeshiva World, they had an article with a video. A cow was sold in Brazil this week at auction for $4 million.
What is with the cow?
The cow is because the cow has super duper special eggs, and they extract the eggs and they sell. It's if somebody wants a mate with from this cow, it's $225,000.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
It's like
you got to see the picture. You got to look at this cow in Yeshiva World. It's unbelievable.
I thought that was one of the Aura auctions or something. Wasn't that, the yeshiva auction or
No, it
something?
was not the auction to raise money for your site. Never. That's for sure.
You might be the only one that saw that on Yeshiva World today.
I don't know why nobody didn't see it. And, it wasn't it's Yeshiva World site. It's not the Des Moines plain dealer. It's Yeshiva World. Yeah.
What is the Mexican?
How much did the milk go for? How much did her milk go for?
I don't know. Anyway, okay.
It's a cow sitting on 2,700 eggs.
$2,500 for $250,000.
2,700 eggs. Like a chicken sits on a dozen eggs. The cow sits on 2,700 eggs.
What you talking about? Okay. Anyway, right. So they were saying, what are you doing with this cow, right? So of course, why should a guy be chai mis machmas malacha? So it goes without saying that if it got decayed because of malacha the potter, even if it dies because of malacha potter, I didn't borrow this thing for it to sit in the shade and not do work. I'm not sure what this Gemara is adding to the mix.
And this is the svara why the shul is not in general chayiv for
Mesa Machmas
Bracha, because that's the whole point of the sheila.
Right, but it seems like this is. I mean, I thought that was self-understood.
Yeah,
it's not as proud. So that's what I'm saying. I'm not sure what he's adding.
But I thought this was the Gemara saying, if the animal deteriorates, it's fine, because even if it drops dead, you're good.
This has to be without the caveat that he overworked the animal. He says, the animal normally works 8 hours a day, and he made it work 16 hours a day. So, yeah, that'd be Mesid Manos Malacha, but you're asking
if
more than
I think that might be the next Gemara with the guy's Mishana with it. Yeah, Nachanami. I don't think that would. I don't think he'd be putter if he overworked it.
Well, yeah, if he overworks, it's a different story. The child is how do you prove it, right? Okay, so next case. So you have this guy. This story right here, or this din, is a common mistake that people make when doing damages. Getting ready for the summer camp shilas, because this is what I will explain as we go. This is a common misunderstanding where people do damage to others. So who gathered the shol narga mechaver? He borrowed a narga with an axe from his friend Isfar. So it got the axe broke. Also, Kamed the Rava Amrlei Zil Isi Sadi the lav Shanis Bay, bring a raya that you didn't do something different with it. Meaning you're supposed to use an axe to break wood. Maybe this guy was using it, that's a big date shiloh now. Can you take a girl to axe throwing? Right? Or is that considered beggar-ish? Or it's a man thing to do. Okay, whatever it is. So you used it for axe throwing. So that's not maybe that is considered the proper way to use it. I don't know, but let's assume that it's not the proper way to use it. So you have to bring Adim, and then that you didn't.
But the girl can't do axe throwing. That's the shiloh.
That's what they asked, because maybe axe throwing is only for males, not for females.
So that cow thing, they'll do a necropsy and figure out, instead of before the Chevra Kadisha gets to the cow, they'll bring it to the doctor. They'll do a necropsy and see why it died.
We have to know whether today that would actually be admissible, right?
Yeah, I asked your father about a date once with my wife going horseback riding. And before I went to put myself on the line, like maybe that's a beggar-ish kind of question, But he told me I should go have a good time, but whatever.
There you go.
I almost killed myself. Whatever. Okay.
The rest is history.
The rest is history. That's right. The rest is history and histrionics. Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, you have to bring Adis that you didn't misuse it in your pot. To be like a Sadi man, what do you do if there's no witnesses? Tashema, right? Who gavra the shol naga mechavre. So we're going to bring a story. There was a guy who broke the axe from his friend, the Isfa, and it got broken. Also, Lakamei the Rav. The Rav, he came in front of Rav. Amrale, Zil, Shlimla, you have to go pay Narga Ma'alya. A little means a good axe, right? Meaning you have to give him a brand new axe. Amrale Rav Kana Ravasi Larav, on Tamar Aleph now. Dina Hachi, is that Taka the din? That he has to buy him a new axe? B'shasik Rav, and Rav was quiet. Because l'char, that is not the din, right? So Shaila is why he why was he quiet? I mean, what was he thinking? That's really the question. But he was quiet, meaning he was maida. The hilchos of Rav Kana Ravasi the Mahadale Tavre, that he has to give him back the broken pieces of axe, and he fills up with the money how much worth less it's worth. Meaning, if an axe is worth $10, and then the broken pieces of the axe are worth $5, so then all he has to pay him is $5. He does not have to pay him for a new axe, right? Meaning, when somebody, Chas V'Shalom gets into a car accident, he does damage to the car. He does not owe him a new car. He really only owes him what the car is worth less because of it. Right? So meaning like somebody scratched, somebody just asked me an hour ago that they scratched, it was a guy's car, but they scratched a guy's car. You're not mechuyev to pay, let's say the scratches, you bring to a body shop, well, they'll charge you $3,000 to fix the scratches. But if you would sell the car, right, the car would only be worth $500 less. So all you owe is $500, according to halacha. You don't have to buy them. You don't have to buy them a new thing. This comes up a lot in camp when the kids come and they say, "Oh, he broke." Usually it's an MP3 player. That's what I find is that right. A kid broke my MP3 player or my 24/6 player or whatever illegal or legal ways that the Kanoim hold you're allowed to listen to music nowadays. Whatever it is, he breaks it. So he said he has to buy him, and he said he has to buy me a new one. He said, no, he does not have to buy you a new one. At the most, he has to buy you a used one, right? Because he didn't take a brand new MP3 player and break it. He took one that was months old, right? So if you can sell whatever you could sell it on eBay, and then that he doesn't have to pay you for. He only has to pay you for the difference, and that is the way we pass them by all damages. Fine. Ahu Gavra, the Shol Davla Mechavre. 3 lines down from the top. There was a guy who borrowed davlas, a bucket from his friend. Ispar, it broke. Also, look, I made a papa. Amrale, I see Sadi the Loishon. It's by bringing witnesses that you weren't Meshana with it. The iftar, you'll be potter. Why? Because it's Mesa Machmas Valacha. Right? So I guess it would depend. You have to bring Adim that he didn't overload the bucket, or maybe he didn't put things in there that he shouldn't put in there. Yeah, fine. Ahu Gavra, the Shol Shunner Mechavre. So these next couple of cases are quite interesting. Ahu Gavra, the Shol Shunner Mechavre. A guy borrowed a cat from his friend. Right? Chavar aleh achbari v'katlu. And then what happened to this cat is the most ego humbling thing that possibly could happen, is that the mice ganged up on him and killed the cat. Right? So Yosef Ravashi, so Ravashi had a shayla. What's the din? Is this considered Mesa Machmas Malacha? Because it's not normal for a cat to lose its fight with a bunch of mice. So, Ki Mesa Machmas Malacha Dami, is it like Mesa Machmas Malacha? Or maybe not.
What do you mean? Is it normal for 100 mice not to beat up a cat? What's the number?
Yes, it's an abnormal thing.
So Tosfos says the shayla. What's the shayla? It's Mesa Machmas Malacha. The shayla was he brought his cat to the
Right.
to the rat party. You know.
Did he put his cat in a bad situation where
So what?
Was 20 mice?
Okay, so if it's normal, then he didn't put it, and if it is normal, then what's the issue? Or what's the shayla? I'm not sure.
I think that's good for the shayla. No, is that the normal thing?
Just got to buy him a used cat.
Yeah, that's true.
What do you mean? Ben, if it's normal that 100 mice can't eat it per cat, so then what's the shiloh?
No, meaning, is there such a thing as doing that?
Is it normal for 100 mice to eat it per cat? Yes or no?
No, is it normal that you have to be worried about where you're putting your cat? Where you're putting the cat?
Of course you do. If you put him with 10 lions, it's a problem.
Oh, the job of a cat is to eat and kill mice. That's the
I
job.
get
That's
it.
why he borrowed. So he has a mouse issue, right? He has a mouse problem, infestation. So he borrowed his friend's cat to get rid of the mice. And what happened? The opposite happened.
So the shiloh is, do you have to pay for the cat or not?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is
Are
he a
you yes.
Peshay or is it Mesa Machzor? Well, it is Mesa Machzor. The question is, he's Peshay or not?
Meaning, is it within the normal workload of a cat to expect it to be able to not be killed by a bunch of mice? The mice, it's a chiddush to be killed by a bunch of mice, right? I think it's a chiddush. So that's the shiloh. Meaning, or do we say no? If you go put a cat with 1,000 mice, then it's very possible that that cat will not be able to withstand the mice, and therefore you misused it. So if you have a man that the women kill, there's no din here, and it's a fluke thing, right? Meaning normally a man should not be able to be overrun by women, and therefore the cat the same thing. It's an interesting mushal, but yeah. A different version. So here, this one maybe is a little easier to understand. He ate too many mice, and then he overheated the chavel umis. This Rashi says chavel means he got overheated. But, like any of us Shabbos afternoon after the cholent, right? He overheated, and then he died. So now the shaila is, again, is that a normal thing to do, that you have to make sure that your cat doesn't go anywhere near the mice?
You should have stopped it after X amount of mice, so that it doesn't. Yeah,
I think so. How else do you understand the question?
I don't know. I'm saying I'm supposed to control the cat and make sure it doesn't eat too many mice.
Yes.
Okay.
That's the way I understand it. So Yosef Ravashi come ayin bo. Ravashi was being mine. Okay, I got him my. Amalei Ramar Ravashi. Hafi Amar Rabbi Megruni Gavra the Nashi Katlu by women who men kill. Loy dina v'loy daina. There's no din and there's no dain. So Rashi here says what it means in Nashi Katlu is that he had so many beers with them that he died from it. I don't know exactly what that means, but I guess the beers wiped him out. So Mamela, he died. So there wouldn't be any responsibility because that's an abnormal thing. So the same thing if the cat eats too many mice.
Does the alternative for Mesa Machas Malacha here have to be Pshia, or it could be, there's a fine line between a regular Einus and an Einus of Mesa Machas Malacha. So eating too much wouldn't be a Pshia. He doesn't have to make sure it doesn't do that. It's just not Mesa Machas Malacha. It's a regular Einus, which a Shayla is chayav for.
I'm saying, what's the other option?
It sounded like we're learning that he's a pesheya. He should have known better and not put his cat there.
Right.
Even if he shouldn't have thought better, that's not Mesa Machzor Halacha. That's a regular Einus.
Right. I hear.
High for regular Einus.
Going on the side of the Gemara says that it is Mesa Machos Malacha and you're putter. So not clear exactly.
No, he's asking the other way. What would be the chiyuv? Isn't that what you're asking?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. I'm saying, I'm asking, it is Mesa Machos Malacha, but the P'tur of Mesa Machos Malacha is for normal Malacha. If it does something crazy, that's a different Einus. That's not Mesa Machos Malacha. even though technically that it was doing malacha when it died.
I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what else would be, because the truth is, everything else would be chayiv, no?
Right. I'm just curious why he was saying that he should have not put it in that situation.
I hear.
Even if he doesn't have to think about it, if it's not a psak of Mesim Malacha, then it's just an minus.
Right. Right. No, I hear that. I hear. I don't know. Okay, very good. So Amar Rava, hi man, the boy the mishal midi mechaber leuiftar. So here now we go with the real scammers, right? So anybody with a yeshiva brain should have thought about this eitzah to do in order to get yourself out. If you ever borrow anything from anybody, to get you out of having to pay for potential damage. So what would you do? Hi man, the boy the mishal midi mechaber leuiftar. If you want to borrow something from your friend and be potter if something happens, so name malay ashki and maya. Ask the guy before you borrow it. Can you get me a drink? To have shayla b'baylam, that would be considered shayla b'baylam. But like we learned, when you borrow something and you also employ the owner, so then there's a tour from the pasuk of baylav imay. Right. So what you do is you ask the guy, "Can you bring me a drink?" At the same time you're borrowing it, and that means it's baylav imay. And then if something happens, you just tell him baylav imay. So that's a way to get out of it. Be careful. But if he's smart, name Malay, Shal Beresha V'Hadar Ashkeh. The lender will say, no, first you take the animal, and then I'll bring you a drink. Like this, at the time of the borrowing, like we learned 2 days ago, 3 days ago, that it all goes with what the status was at the time of the borrowing. So since he borrowed it first, then he brought him the drink, that's not considered by Levimah. So that would be two smart people fighting each other.
He'll say he wanted a drink straight up, and the other one says, no, I was making you a cocktail. I put in ice, I anisette, I mixed it. So it took an extra 10 minutes, so I wasn't working. That would be my case with our brilliant Eden.
Okay, I'm saying you could, yeah. Yeah. Well, with that, yeah, I guess so. Yeah, but that's the shaila is how can he combat that? Well, yeah, here. So what do you want to say, Gershon?
It just occurred to me that there are many cases where there would be an inbuilt ba'alav imay. Someone makes a simcha and he rents a warmer from someplace, whatever. So how does he get the warmer? They drop it off. So the moment of rental, there's mamish ba'alav imay.
Why?
They're giving it to him.
But
they're putting it in his garage or whatever.
And they're working because the delivery makes it ba'alav imay.
Why not?
Why yes.
I don't know if that's considered. Is that considered like his
employee? Why yes.
The way you borrowed it?
They're doing work for me. B'shas she'ela. They're putting the fridge where I want it to be
put. They're not doing anything on Shabbos.
What shaykh is Shabbos? I rent it on Friday. They deliver it Friday.
For Shabbos.
They put it.
They
Who
drop
cares
it.
when it's for? It doesn't matter.
They're a delivery service. What do they do?
At the moment of she'ela, when am I renting it? I'm renting it Friday, 3 o'clock. When are they delivering it? Friday, 3 o'clock.
So why is that ba'alav imay?
Why is giving him a drink when he's borrowing a cat? Ba'alav imay.
The guy's delivering it. Are they shluchim from the owner of the zach?
Yes, I don't know. Stuff. It's early in tomorrow's daf or the next day's daf. Is that called ba'alav imay? It doesn't seem like that's called ba'alav imay. Meaning the she'ela doesn't start until they drop it off.
And in the case we brought in the Gemara, he says before taking possession of the item, you're asking him to bring you a drink. So there also, it doesn't start until you get the item.
No, but there you employed him.
No, he's doing.
There you employed him before he got the item.
Is he boiling the cat in the water?
In Gershon's case, the owner is charging for the delivery fee. When he gets the bill
Extra
late
fee.
after the Simcha, there's a $50 charge for Uber. There's an Uber charge. So he never worked for the guy when he delivered the plates.
That's not Gershon's case. That's your case.
Why not?
Well,
Fakir.
that's the case, no?
I would think Fakir. In your case,
Even if that was the case, if I'm paid for it, he's mamish working for me.
no. When does the Gershon? The
not-
Shiloh is when does the loan start? When the warmer leaves the commissary, let's call it that, or when it gets to the hall. If the Shayla starts when it leaves the commissary, which is really tomorrow's daf, then maybe you're correct. But if
No, the other way around.
loan doesn't start until no, why?
The Baal of Imai has to either be at the same moment or precede the She'ela. So if the She'ela starts before the Baal of Imai, then there's no Baal of Imai. So if the She'ela starts when it's in the commissary.
Correct. No, that's for sure. But even if the Shayla doesn't start, if they didn't do any work for him until the loan started, so then that's also.
If the Shayla starts in the commissary, something's wrong with that, because if the commissary, whoever that is making the delivery and something happens to it, so then we're going to tell me that it's the borrower's problem?
Well, we're going to see. That's tomorrow's stuff. It's really tomorrow's stuff.
You drop the warmer and they plug it in. It doesn't work. It's not my problem. It's the owner's problem.
Right.
If when they drop it off and then I plug it in.
I plug it in, it doesn't work. Buddy, take it back. I didn't do it.
That's either way. That's Mesamachos Malachos. See, without Balavim, with Balavim makes no difference.
Well, so it doesn't belong till they plug it in and it works. And okay, good, now you have it.
No, as soon as they drop it off, as soon as it's in my property.
It doesn't. If I plug it in, it doesn't work. It doesn't make a difference.
Let's see a little bit weiter. Maybe we can get clarity or lack of clarity on the next case of the Gemara and see if that fits. Yeah. So the next case is it's not so easy to understand. So Amar Rava Mikri Dar. I mean, it's easy to understand, but it's hard to get the nuances here. Mikri Dardaki, Shasla, and Tavcha. You have a Mikri Dardaki is he teaches kids to read. Shasla is a gardener, and Tavcha is a shoichet. The Umna is what do you call it? Bloodletter. And Sapra Masa is a barber. And these people all work for the city. They're all employed by the city. Right? So Kulu Be'idan Avedatayu, while they're working, Kishayla B'Bailam Dome, it's Shayla B'Bailam. So meaning if you have when this barber who works for the city is on duty, or when this Rebbe is being a Rebbe, right? Let's say you see a Rebbe walking with his class down the street, and you ask that Rebbe, can I borrow a face? Can I borrow your phone? Fine. He lends you the phone, you drop the phone on the floor, right? So the Gemara is saying that's Bailav Imwe. Why? Because since he's employed by the whole city, so Mamela, he's employed by you too, since you're part of the city. And when you borrowed it from him, it was Bailav Imwe, and therefore you are Potter. Right? So this can manifest itself in many ways. But that's what the Gemara says. So I'm really Rabban on the Rav. Yeah, so that's it. So that's one. So the Chiddush here is that even though he's only working for the city, he's still considered like working for you. Right? Meaning, so it doesn't have to be a direct work. So now comes out, again, what we said yesterday with the yeshivas. Or I'm thinking with camps. What do you say?
He's the shots for slichas, and he tears the talus, so he doesn't have to pay for it. He owned part of the talus to begin with.
Well, slichas you got to be very careful with. They're not easy to find.
Say again. I didn't hear what you said.
The slichas guy, you got to be very careful with. They're not easy to find. Nobody wants.
Well, that's true. That's a different.
Yeah, it's a different
issue. Yeah,
you got to know when to hold them and when to fold them. Right, that's true. No pun intended on the talus. But yeah,
it's the other way around, isn't it? If I borrow something from him,
correct.
not if he borrows something.
Well, he's borrowing from the
He
tzibur.
doesn't. He didn't borrow from another.
He stopped saying nothing
Ava.
to buy
He
the bima.
picked up the tzibur's talus. He picked up the talus that was by the bima, and he tore that talus. So he's part
Meaning it's
owner
a-
of it. So
He's saying it's his own house. He doesn't have to pay. That's what he's generally
Yeah.
saying. Nothing to do with buy the bima. Now it's Taki, you're bringing up a good shaila because really when somebody goes up to daven for the Amid, well, not Myra, because usually Myra's at night, unless you're a plug guy, right? Right. But if you're going to a standard Myra, well, Myra's not negay because it's at night, but mincha, or you get an aliyah. So the din is when you put on your own talis, you have to make a bracha, right? If I go put on my own talis for mincha, if I'm davening for mincha, I put on my own talis, I gotta make a bracha. But if you're part of the tzibur and the talis belongs to the tzibur, so you're not borrowing the talis, right? You're taking your own talis.
it's your talus.
The Mishnah Brura tumbles with this, and he says, he says he doesn't understand why. From what I remember correct, I think it's the Mishnah Brura. It says he doesn't understand what the heter is to not make.
Why can't you give up your ownership? It's the tzibur, so you have partial ownership.
Why should you give up your ownership?
Because it's better for you not to own it right now.
Why not just make a bracha?
Yeah, Naftali's a real Talmud. He doesn't mind making brachas.
Why not? Yeah, why not just make a bracha? What's the big deal?
Because there's a suffix, no?
Because it's a suffix. Because maybe it's not yours. It belongs. It's not yours. If you're part of the team. That's what he says. I think.
So why can't you just give up your ownership? Then it's not a
Why
shaila.
should you give up your ownership of something?
So
What
then
are you,
you
a
get yourself out of
communist?
the suffix. So then you get yourself out of the suffix. It's not yours.
But how do you give up your ownership?
Yo, don't take the aliyah.
He hasn't had the guy didn't get an aliyah in 3 years. They finally remembered he's in the building.
There's a problem with giving up your ownership. Then he needs to ask for shus from every member of the kehillah.
Okay, I don't know how it would work technically. I don't know. I think
That would be impossible.
But in morning koil, what's the name? Does the slichus in the morning koil in yeshiva? Who whatever his name is. I think he borrowed somebody's talis.
Yes,
He stopped during COVID. It's not the same guy.
he borrowed somebody's talus. Yes,
He used to borrow somebody else's talis. He was taking the tzibur because he didn't want the night shiloh.
right.
Yeah. So, okay, whatever. That's a shot. But they say, anyways, that you drape the talis down, like off your back a shtickle, so it's not like you're really wearing the talis. I don't remember who brings that eitzah. But
Now you have to buy fashion magazines to see if you're wearing it the right way or not.
Right, you have to make sure to put it on properly when you're walking in with the Erev problem.
Yeah. Then Shayashiv Stam that they've marked now like Chaim Berlin to put the talis over your head, so that doesn't work. Right? Whatever. Anyways, so that's what we're saying. So it's considered. No, I was just wondering with summer camps, right? So a kid borrows something from the camp. He says he borrows a basketball from the camp and he loses it, right? So then the camp says, okay, you got to pay. What do you mean you got to pay? It's by Levimai. The camp is working for the kid. Much more common case, Zev, than in yeshiva. Right? The camp makes the kid pay. Kid damages something. Well, damage is different. Kid damage that totally different. But he's irresponsible or something, and they say, oh, you have to pay. No, you don't. L'chara, you don't.
The kid walks into a wall in the yeshiva, cracks a window. So the l'chara shouldn't pay, right? Yeah.
Well, that I don't know because it's not lent to him. That's a stama. He's stama mazik.
The kid's gonna have a hard time finding a camp next year. Not this one.
That's true. But I'm saying the kid borrows a ball from the camp, and then he loses it. So the camp says, "Okay, you got to pay." No, you don't. Again, it's if he's a pesheya, so then we had that machlokes whether pesheya is putter or not. But if he's not a pesheya, right, he just left it in his bunk, and then another kid came and took it. Okay,
or if he's playing ball and it goes into the lake and it's gone, right?
If it's the normal way, to play with the ball, then he's but it comes up a lot. We said the same thing. Yes, it is. We're already in camp mode. Yes. So I'm saying, two kids are playing ball. I think we discussed this a few weeks ago. Two kids are playing ball on the court, right? And then one kid says, "Okay, can I borrow your ball?" The other kid wants to leave. Says, "Can I borrow your ball?" Yeah, borrow the ball. So now, is that called by Levimai? Because Lemaisa they were playing together. and you need each other to play, but you can't play one-on-one unless you have two people, right? So maybe each one's working with the other, which is really the next case. Let's see. But with Torah, I brought it all to ball playing, but it's with Torah. Yeah, Amar le Rabbana le Rava, Shalon Mar, right? So the Rabbanan told Rava, which Lamais is a chutzpah, but I mean it sounds like a chutzpah, which is what exactly the way Rava took it, right? They said to Rava, if you would lend us something, then we're going to be potter. Why? Because you're working for us. You're our Rebbe, but Lamaisa, you're working for us. So we'd be potter.
So a Rav, of a shul.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
I borrowed a Rav's car, I crashed it, it's no problem. You work for me.
Again, if it had to be a
No, it was an accident.
Yeah, 100%.
I take the Rav's car, I take the Yeshiva's car, I think I can bank it up. That's it.
Yeah.
I'm off the hook. Rabbi, can I borrow your coat? Then I go
Zed, you
outside?
can have a field day tomorrow.
Yeah. I don't know how it works exactly because maybe he's not being your Rav at that particular time. I don't know how it works. Is a Rav 24/7?
I don't know. You can ask them.
I mean, you consider him your Rav 24/7. I'm saying it's not like at night he's not your Rav. He's
you're making
but there's a difference. You know, today people think they own their Rav. They don't own their Rav, nothing. You know what I mean?
No, I don't mean that you're your Rav, but he's your Rav he's your Rav all the time.
Does he get paid to be a Rav all the time? I guess, maybe. I don't know, yeah.
Wait, if you're going to say it the other way around, you're making the chutzpah these Talmidim had a lot worse. I mean, smack in the middle of Shir, they all of a sudden, oh, can I borrow your car, Rebbe? That's rough.
True. It's true. Okay, but whatever it is, I don't know how you define it. See, this one is talking about Peshasti Yeshiva, right? If they, I'm saying if a Rava, let's say, had a phone, so because the Bachram can't bring phones to Yeshiva. So let's say, again, obviously not Rav. I'm saying the Rebbe has a phone in the Yeshiva. Says, Rebbe, can I borrow the phone? And he puts it down, and then a kid comes and smashes it. They're totally messed up. So you say, Rebbe, you're employed by me, right? Now this, right? So that's a shayla. Now this is talking about where he didn't get paid. He got paid, then Avada he's employed by him. There's no shayla, right? The footnote in the article I checked says this. I don't think they bring it from anybody. I don't know if anybody has the article in front of them. But if the Rebbe is being paid, he most certainly is being employed by you. This is talking about where the Rebbe is not being paid. So that's what they told Rava. The Maisa, you're working for us. Ikbid. He was makbid.
Is this Stafka by Rava? Rava's the one who traveled 3 months in each direction to learn one day, twice a year, by his Rebbe.
I think it's anybody.
He considered that his Rebbe, even though he learned by him 1 day a year, 2 days a year. That's considered his Rav. So they asked him if he was talking their Rebbe.
Well, you shouldn't have been driving a Corvette, okay? You should have been driving you should have been buying a 95 Odyssey instead of a brand new Corvette.
Well, yeah. I think it's just that's what the story happened. Right? I think. But anyway, so I gotta switch devices.
Recording in progress.
Sorry, I had to switch because my thing was dying. Anyway, so that's what they told Rava. So Rava was not happy with this. Yeah. So lost the place. So he's makbid. What are you trying to do to me? I'm learning with you, and you're trying to take away money from me. Adarabba, Asan Shaltan Li, you guys are lent to me. I can decide which Masechta we're learning. Asan, you can't tell me which Masechta to learn. So Mamela, you are Meshubid to me. I'm not Meshubid to you. Right? Which again, I don't clearly understand what that means. So since they have to listen to him, which Masechta to learn, so maybe they're helping him out. I would think fakert. So, he's
and where's the work
I guess the teaching
between the Rebbe and no, with the Rebbe's
No, the teaching is the work. Then he's meshuvah to them.
right. So Elamai, he's saying that it's not the
You're
teaching.
meshuvah to me. Why are the Talmidim meshuvah to him?
Because he can choose which Masechta to learn.
Okay, so
I don't know. I don't know, but that it seems like because of that, it's all totally in the shibud. Who's meshubed? When it's by Levimai, it's totally in who is the shibud, who's meshubed to do something for somebody else.
If he works, if they pay him, so then why can't they decide which?
Now we're not talking about pay. Pay, if he gets paid, then for sure he's employed by the Talmidim. That's not a question.
What's lafkut emamone kabayitu mean?
Because they wanted to say, well, you want to make yourself potter if you borrow something. They're not coming to take away money. They're saying, theoretically, we borrowed something from you and it broke, we would not be chayiv. That's all. He's saying, what are you guys trying to do? Trying to get out of paying me money? Meaning not paying, meaning if theoretically you borrowed something from me, you're trying to say that you wouldn't have to pay me back. That's all you're saying. I don't think it means that they're actually trying to take money from him. They're potentially trying to take money. Right?
Is he saying that he's not meshubah to them and they're meshubah to him, or that he is equally meshubah to them as they are to him? So Mamela, they just knock each other out.
I don't know. I thought I don't know. I thought it sounded like they're meshubah to him because he could choose the subject matter.
I mean, the Torah was meshabed him to them. L'lamed l'lamed.
They were meshabed them to him too, because they also have a fee.
So that's what I'm saying. So you can say they cancel each other out. You can't say I don't think Rava can say he's not meshubah to them.
Right. I don't know. Anyways, Veloihi, and it's not true the whole thing. He is lent to them on the day of the Kala, meaning when it's his job a month before Yom Tif, that they had shiurim in order to teach. So then he is meshubed to them because he can't change the subject matter. That's what Rashi says. Right? Inhu shilulei b'shayim, but the other times of the year when he could choose the subject matter, then they're working for him. Again, it just seems like it's all telling him who makes the decisions. Okay, Marema bar Chanina Eiger Kudnaisa Beichuzai. So he rented his Kudnaisa, his preda, his mule to the Beichuzai. Nafak Livluya Tuna Badai, and he went out to lift up and to help load it up. So this is more similar to your case, Gershon, right? He's helping them load it up. But it sounds like, right? So it sounds like I'm incorrect with what my svara was, that the loan started later. It sounds like the loan started right away. It sounds like he was helping him. Okay, I don't know when the loan.
They started at the same time. He's helping him
you
get
have to say that it was the same time. See, to me, it sounds, you would think he lent it to them first, then he saw them loading it up and says, oh, let me go help them. But l'chara, that's not by Levima because it was already lent before he started working. So that's where I'm l'chara incorrect. It sounds like more of like a proof to you. Right? So anyways, he went out to load it up. Pashuba and Umis, and then they were Pesheya, and then it died. You see, it's interesting that the Gemara here says that they were Pesheya. Also, look at the Rava Chayivin, and Rava says that they're Chayiv. Amar le Rabbanan the Rava Pshia b'Bailim it's a Pshia b'Bailim, right? The Ma'aser is a Pshia b'Bailim. They should be Potter. So if he got embarrassed, l'Soifik l'Imilsa de l'Meisa Teuna Hu de Nafak came out that he didn't actually go help them load it up. He just went out to see. Right, he wanted to just make sure that they were not mistreating his animal. So Mamela, that's what he did. He didn't help them out at all. So it was not Bailav Ima.
Didn't we say 3 blot ago that Pshia B'Bailim is chayiv because he can't learn from Shem
Okay, so that's right. So that's the next case. So Hani Chalaman, that's the next kasha. So Hani Chalaman, Damar Pshia B'Bailim Potem. So that all works if you hold Pshia B'Bailim as Potem. Mishum Hachi Ichsef, that's why he was embarrassed. Elaman Damar Chayiv, but according to the Manda Amar, that says Pshia B'Bailim was Chayiv, right? Like you were just saying. So my Ichsef, what was he embarrassed for? It was Pshia, but they were Paishim. So they should be Chayiv. Right? So when answers Lo Mifsha Pashuba, they weren't Paisheya, Ela Ignuve Ignav. They stole it, right? Umesa Kedarka Beganav Havi, and it died in the Ganav's house, but Kedarka. For us, look at the Rabbi Chavinu, and Rabbi said they're Chayiv. Amruli Rabbi on the Rabbi, Geneva B'Bailim, it's Geneva B'Bailim, right? Meaning they should be Potter. So now, let's finish the Gemara. Say, he only went to watch them load it up. See, it's interesting here because it's not because of the Geneva that he's potter. It's because it was Mesa Kedarka. Right?
He's only maybe he's only posketing on the value of the thing, but if but the fact that they stole, maybe they're mechuyev to be meish of the Geneva also.
Well, that's true.
Separate. It's a different din there.
Right, so they do have to.
So they give him back a dead. They give him back a dead animal. You know, whatever they stole. You know, or maybe they got to pay kefil. You know.
Right, but that's what Rashi says. We had that in Hamafkid, that you could say that the Malach HaMavis got to him. What's the difference where the Malach HaMavis gets to him? Right? Okay, anyway, so that's Sugi. Fine. Zok the Mishnah. Ashayel is a para. A guy lends out, somebody borrows a para. Shelo chatziyim, v'sachro chatziyim. He borrowed it for half a day, and he rented it out for half a day. Shela hayom v'schara l'macha. Or, meaning there's 3 cases that are going to be in the Mishnah. He borrowed for half a day and rented it for half a day. Or Shela hayom v'sachra l'macha. He borrowed it today, or he rented it the next day. Meaning it's alternating. Or the last case is where it was 2 different animals. Sachar achas v'shal achas. He borrowed one animal and he rented out one animal. Umesa, and then the animal died. So Amashalayim, the lender says She'ula Mesa, the one that was borrowed that was died. The Gemara explains the last case first. It was the animal that was borrowed that died, not the animal that was rented. B'yoyim shahisa She'ula Mesa, or on the day that it was borrowed, it died on Tamar Beis. B'shasha shahisa She'ula Mesa, or at the time that it was lent, it died. And the other one says, meaning the Shoyel says, I have no idea. So Chayev, he's Chayev, right? Because one guy is a Vadai, one in the Bari V'Shema, and Bari Adif. So the lender is a Bari, and the borrower is a Shema. And then the opposite, the renter says, it died when it was rented. Again, and then he would be potter from Einzim, right? The Yom Shah is the Skura Mesa, or on the day that it was rented, it died. The Shasha is the Skura Mesa. And the other one says, I don't know. Potter, he's Potter. I get the same cases. If this one says Skura, and this one is it's over Akiva, he would just pop in, yeah. So they had a Hespedim for Rabbi Per tonight. This one says it was borrowed. And this one says that it was rented, meaning they're here, they're fighting each other. So Yishava HaSaycha Sheskura Mesa, then the Saycha rents that the Saycha, the renter, swears that the Skura died, and then he is potter. Zaymer and Yadev, Zaymer and Yadev. Each one says they don't know Yachloiku, so then they split it. Yeah. Okay, you know what? We'll stop here because the next Gemara, Mamish, takes us all the way down. The terrace for the next Gemara takes us all the way down on Aleph. So I guess that was the longest, shortest stuff in a while. Yeah. Okay, it was good. It was Gishmak Adaf.
Rabbi, the Rush says if nobody can change the Masechta, then nobody's borrowed to anybody else. So I guess we can't borrow your car and get out of it.
I mean,
we have to stick to the daf, you know.
I guess you're stuck with the daf. Is that a shiva?
Yeah, you're right. Nobody can change. Not the Rav, not the Talmud.
Yeah, very good.
Wait, isn't that the opposite of the Gemara though? The Shas Kala, Gemara said that the Rebbe's Meshuvah to the Talmud.
Yeah, because the Rebbe can't change it.
Yeah, but neither can the Talmud.
It has to be that they could, otherwise they couldn't change it. Otherwise, it wouldn't be Sheila Bail.
Well, the whole Kala is Hilchas Yom Tov. No one can change that.
I don't know. Sounds like they could.
Uh-huh.
That's what the Rush says. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a chiddush.
Interesting. Yeah, it is. Well, the whole thing's a chiddush.
Yeah, it's very strange.
Yeah. Okay, let's say till.
I don't know why they're texting me, but do you have to tovel a pizza stone?
If it's not glazed, then no. Stone doesn't need.
Okay.
All right. So you must have the wrong sign in there.
Saved you a text.
Thank you. Okay, pay Gimel. Shimmer's mother Asaf and Lima Domilacha Techrash Vitishka Elki Ney Vacha Yamana Masanecha Nasuroy Shalam Pe Yumusoi Yisio towards Venacha Amr Luchu Ben Achidem Megoy Velo Yizach Shem Yisraelai Kinoi to Ligachta Velacha B'Sikroi so Alei Adam Ishmael Amiyav Agrim Kol V'Amoin V'Amalei Kaleshes Amiyoy Shvitzar Gam Asher Nidlaim Am HaYisrael V'nei Letzela Salem Comedian Kasiso Ki Om Nachakisha Nishvadu Ben Dor Yidam Eladoma Shisem Nidavim Mekayir V'Kuzev V'Kuzev V'Kutzamon Konasi Chemer Asher Amru Nishalon Ois Naizel Lehem Aliyah Shisem Galgal Kikash Lufni Ruach Kesh Tavaryoch Lavat Lai Tarim Kintil Famous Arachu Safas Zivalim Alei Finin Kolim Vach Shimcha Dinay Yevosh Vivalo Adir V'Yachru V'Yer V'Yedu Fiat Shimcha Dinay V'Decha El Yona Kol Haaretz Achinu Kovish Yisrael Amsim V'Sav V'Shu Yoim Dumei V'Yom 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 V'Yetzem V'Tzon Levachim V'Feil Aloyra Mishlu V'Gula Hashta Agalav Zman Kariv V'Neymar Romein. All right. A good enough, everybody. Surus Toivus.
Yashikayach. I thought when you said to Akiva, is it finished? I thought you were making a punt on the Shas Kala.
No. There was a spade for Rabbi Per. I mean, I missed it. What we're gonna do, but
I didn't realize he wasn't on shear. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
You're asking, is this year finished?